So the M4 is a trusty road in New South Wales. It's claimed quite a few of the players' cars, and a number of times they broke down on the way out. Famously for Craig Lambert putting petrol in his diesel car, and the car didn't want to go, it just sort of stopped. But yeah, this was the thoroughfare to Blacktown for the first couple of years. And also when we trained at Gips Road, where we're heading to now, which is our first real oval we trained on as a footy club. We're just arriving at Gips Road Sporting Complex, home of the Parramatta Goannas. This is where we did all our training 2012 and 2013. A lot of work was done on the oval, building club rooms for them, and yeah, it was a unique place to train yet again.
Weren't too many AFL grounds in Western Sydney. It's very hard to see 4 posts going up on grounds around the place. If you guys have been driving around, you don't see them too often. So to find a place like this, we're pretty lucky, and you know, they were great for us at the time and served its purpose. But we certainly outgrew it very, very quickly. And to be where we are at Tom Mills is obviously pretty special. We would train out here at 7 o'clock in the morning because of the heat. So we'd get here at 6:30, strapping all ready to go out and do our stuff, and then end up back at the club about 1 o'clock like we do now. So the travel was a part of it. We had to sort of take that into consideration with all our scheduling.
So yeah, just driving into Blacktown now, the home of the Giants, where we were formed in 2010 as Team GWS.
This is probably the most significant place, I guess, the hub of the Giants. And over there, we'll end up there in a minute, but as you can see, the concrete here, that's 2011, 2012. We had administration offices over on this side, and then out the back there, you'll see some plumbing and stuff. There were demountables, showers and toilets and change rooms. Out the back there, some of you may have seen some vision in the archives, but that's where we trained, out on the baseball diamond. The car park, the grass area just over here. All right, Choco, those of you that know Mark Williams, Choco, great educator, very eccentric, comes up with some weird ideas. Right, let's put some goalposts. So we had goalposts in the middle of the car park out there, but what he did was he had the 2 goalposts on the outside and he had the point post inside, right, just to change it up a little bit to try and get your accuracy. But we would have goal kicking sessions out there, craft sessions with his snapping, stoppage work, just in that car park, and it wasn't much bigger than that with the goalposts. The AFL's vision in 2009, 2010, when they said we're going to put a team in Western Sydney, like, this is what they wanted. And that's the perception that everybody that doesn't know the Giants is that, oh, you know, if you listen to the other clubs, and the AFL's given us everything. Well, no, they gave us some players, but they didn't give us a facility. We've had to grow that, we've had to build it, and you know, the resilience of the group that's come through will certainly follow through with you guys. You got to remember though, like, there was 34 of you guys that were 17 or 18 years old that came, so for them it was just oh, how good's this, I've been drafted. So they made it what it was. And you know, our first years were a lot about socialising. You know, you talk to Wardy and talk to Tobe and talk to Jeremy and that. The families had a fantastic time, all right, and I think the young boys had a good time at the Palace Hotel as well. They spent a fair bit of time at the Palace. We celebrated our 3 wins in those 2 years, don't worry about that. We celebrated very hard. And we also celebrated a few losses. Sort of had to. But this is where it all started. Up there, 2010, I remember my first training session was Tuesday, February the 10th, 2010. I remember coming out here and thinking, what have I got myself into? It was quite unbelievable, right, in a nice way. We were growing, so Sheeds came on board as a coach. So again, the bigwigs started talking, and Rudy Hill RSL, which we're heading to now, became our home base. And so their CEO, a guy by the name of Richard Errington, ripping fella, mad Collingwood supporter. He met with Sheeds and Gub again, and Dave and Dale Holmes, who was our CEO originally in 2010, and said, I've got just the place. So he said to us, all right, come out to Rudy Hill. So it was quite unique. We put holes in walls. Right, we're doing touch up there, and you just get physical and push off in the elbows and holes in walls, and Richard said, oh, that's all right, don't worry about it. Come back the next day, and the guy fixed it up. They just couldn't have had us up there anymore. Free access to the gym. Cost us nothing. Like, you'd walk around Western Sydney 8 years ago, 9 years ago, and they wouldn't have a clue who we were. So to actually walk in the club now and have someone stand at the reception there and say, wow, I'm a massive supporter, well, that's gold. So it started from being out here, and just by us wearing our colours, everywhere we went, we were easily identified. So So you're great ambassadors for the footy club. You just need to remember that when you're out in the community. They look after us and we look after them. So this is a really important part of our history of the footy club, and hopefully you've got something out of it in the last couple of hours, and some things you didn't know, but you can still look back and reflect upon and say, wow, that's where it started from.